Shadow Main, Shadow 17. I'm closing in on the source of the signal. Over.
Shadow 17, Shadow Main acknowledge.
What the fuck?
Shadow 17, what do you see?
It's just,
What do you see?
It's just two skeletons and a ham radio. Over.
Say again.
I say again, two skeletons and a ham radio.
You're listening to Mad Tower Radio.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Mad Tower Radio. This is episode 37 of our illustrious podcast. My name is Dan, and I am joined by my co-hosts, as usual, Christian and Ryan. Gentlemen.
Hello.
Hey,
Hello.
you said my name first this time.
Yeah, you know,
Moving up.
your name got to be first for the last, episodes that Ryan wasn't even on the podcast, so.
There we go.
Like the first 30 episodes.
Yeah, the first 30 episodes. Yeah. Yeah, you're not the fucking new kid on the block anymore, Ryan, okay?
Yeah, I'm old news, man.
You're getting the same treatment as Christian, okay?
You gonna put me in a cave somewhere?
Yeah, we're gonna put you in a cage. All right, poke you with a stick and say, "Come on, podcast time."
Tell me a funny joke about a ghost.
But anyways, if this is your first episode listening to Mad Tower Radio, we dedicate about an hour a week to deliver to the masses tales of horror, hauntings, ghosts, ghouls, things that lurk in the night, conspiracies on the off chance we find one that's actually good and not just gas station crackhead ramblings and, things of that sort, right? And I am fucking elated to tell you guys about the topic that I've brought today. Now, it's nothing new. This topic actually comes from 1999, and I'm talking about the Blair Witch Project. One of my favorite movies of all time, dude. Like, it was just on a whole nother level for movies. Have you guys have both seen it, right? I imagine.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It is just on another level. Did you guys watch any of the sequels?
Absolutely not.
I watched the second air quotes one, and it was pretty bad.
From 2016 or 2000?
No, like the one that was before that. There was like one before that 2019 one.
Yeah, the 2000 one? Book of Shadows or whatever?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, dude. I don't have a single fuck in the world to give about the movies and the game because they just don't get it. Right? So this movie was a fucking trendsetter. It essentially made the found footage genre, right? And I know that's some pretty entry-level trivia for the movie because, everybody knows. But they also did an early form of modern, I guess something that would kind of lead to what has become the modern internet ARGs.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah.
And they put out missing posters for the people that were there. You could find the girl's journal online. And, before I get too ahead of myself, some of you out there may not have ever seen the Blair Witch Project, the 1999 one, which is the only one you should watch. And it is a fucking awesome movie about these three film students, Mike, Josh, and Heather, who go out to a place called Burkittsville, Maine, which was formerly known as Blair. My bad, not Maine. Burkittsville, Maryland, which was formerly known as Blair. And they actually were trying to make a documentary about this urban legend called the Blair Witch. And it's pretty innocent at first, and then as it goes on, they find some areas that were associated with the legend, and they go out to all these places that are associated with the legend, and by the time they finish, they just set up their tent for the night and go to bed, and then it all just starts going downhill from there. They get lost in the woods, and I'm going to cap off the plot explanation right there, because if you haven't seen it, go watch it. This is your final warning for spoilers. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Go watch the movie if you haven't. From this point on, we're going to be talking about spoilers. So, gentlemen, what do you think is the scariest part of the Blair Witch?
Are you talking about like the actual entity or like the movie or
the movie?
I think for me personally, the lack of sound design. Like you get some of these like shitty found footage, air quotes. So there's a lot of them out there now, like horror movies, and there's like background music. It's like, I thought this was a found footage. There's the guy sitting there with like his friend's phone playing music.
It's overproduced, yeah.
Exactly. I think that's what made Blair Witch such a good movie, is that there's no noise, and when there's like, that just puts me on edge automatically.
See, I didn't know what you meant at first, because I was like, there's plenty of noise at night when they're camping. No?
Oh yeah.
I'm like, you don't be hearing that?
But like, I guess more so like the music, but also just like, for me, coming from like an actor standpoint, the very real reactions of like, what these people are going through and stuff like that. And I think from like the scariest thing for me is that last scene
in the house.
Yeah.
Oh,
like the literal last scene, where, I mean, we could talk about spoilers now, right? Because you already gave the warning.
Yes, spoil it all you want.
Where the dude is just staring at the wall.
Yes, that's actually become a bit of slang in my repertoire. I call that Blair Witching.
Yeah, you have said that. I have heard you use that turn of phrase.
I'll see, like, we'll be playing games and I'll see dudes like AFK over in like the corner. I'm like, why is he Blair Witching over there?
I think I heard your wife say it once about one of the cats too.
Yeah,
she did. I heard that too.
Yeah, very, very, very good movie. So
that lead girl has such a wonderful performance.
Yeah.
I believe she's being tormented in the woods by this bog bitch.
So you know why it's so believable, right? Since they were going for the found footage, since they were going for this new style of movie, the directors were, they didn't really have a script. They had like a loose script, and they just kind of had directions. And then they kind of just fucked off out of sight of the cast.
Really?
Yes. I don't know if everything was improv, and I'm sure that he had to step in for some of the most intense scenes to be there, but like for the majority of it, they were trying to create this actual sense to the actors of them being lost in the woods.
That kind of reminds me of the movie Alien. They didn't know that there was going to be a chest burster scene.
Really?
Yeah.
Did they hide that from the cast?
They did. They didn't tell anybody. Not even John Goodman. Not John Goodman. John. Oh God, what's his name?
John Leguizamo.
Yeah, John Leguizamo. My favorite English actor. No, what's it called? I forgot it. John Hurt. John Hurt was the first member of that crew to die.
Yeah.
And they didn't tell him that was going to pop out of him. So essentially they said, okay, we're going to have like your body's going to like get damaged. So they essentially had him standing up, but like kind of like leaned him back so he looked like he was still laying there. But the body on the table is totally fake. No one on the cast knew that the alien was going to pop out and all the blood's going to shoot out. So all of their reactions are real from seeing that burst out from what they thought was his body.
Well, it fucking gets crazier than that, man, because they had never seen the house.
Ooh.
The actors had never seen the house.
Oh.
Their directions were, you're going to hear a noise on this night, and when you hear that noise, you're going to run in the direction of it. And when you find the blank, you're going to go inside of it. And they were like, what? And so they ran in the direction of the noise, and they found the fucking house, dude.
Jeez.
Yeah. So they like kind of just had to figure it all out for themselves, kind of like they were taking part in a fucking like sick game, dude. It was nuts.
That sounds horrible.
That sounds fun. I'd love to do something like that.
So like upon rewatching, I watched this yesterday, And I was like, fuck this, dude. I'm talking about the Blair Witch on the podcast tomorrow. But what was scary to me was obviously the tent scenes at night. Those are so fucking good. They escalate so perfectly. And like, I think my favorite was when something just started beating on the fucking tent and they just took off. Like, that shit was crazy. And they just kind of like stood out in the woods until morning. That was insane.
They spend so many nights out there. It looks and feels horrible.
Yeah. Oh yeah, dude. And but again, watching it now through like my older mind, I'm like, and I've been in those situations where you're out in the woods and all you have is a map, you know? And that shit,
even have that.
That shit was getting wild when they were like all looking at the map and all three of them were just like bickering back and forth, and it's like, you don't know where we are, and it's like, no, you don't know where we are. And then like just that sense of like we're fucking lost just setting in, you know, like that was actually pretty fucking scary.
Yeah,
and then
for sure.
I didn't realize it when I was like younger watching this movie, but just the day and night cycle becomes fucking like dreadful, you know?
Oh yeah.
Like
when they realize they have to spend another night.
Yeah, because it becomes a day and night cycle, you know? They're like, okay, we're just going to be out here for 2 nights, you know? And you're like, oh, just 2 wacky nighttime wood scenes. And then it's like, now we're out here until we get out. And like the characters, they like, it would be noon, right? They'd wake up at like 7 in the morning, walk around until like noon, and then by noon they were already like worrying about nighttime. You know?
Yeah.
And it was just the craziest shit, dude. Like, that movie was so fucking crazy.
It really made the what's it called? The watcher feared the dark as well.
Oh
You
yeah,
know?
dude. Oh yeah. Those like sounds that they're hearing, like that was fucking crazy. The one dude, Josh, his like when they got chased away from the tent and they come back and he's like, why is there this fucking blue slime all over my bag?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude. It is fucking insane.
Now, I thought that you actually didn't like the Blair Witch because as youth, I seemed to remember your like very firm desire to never watch it.
Oh, because it was fucking terrifying.
Yeah, like we.
My
I
first
remember-
experience with that movie was hellish.
I mean, you lived on the forest's edge as a child, so I understand.
Yeah, I lived right across the street from like this big patch of fucking woods as a kid. It was bad. And then so my first experience with that movie was god awful. So my buddy's grandparents owned like a tiny piece of land. So like for his birthdays or like on the weekends and stuff, we would sometimes go camp out down there, right?
Yeah.
And we're out there, we're having a good time. He's like, yeah, dude, I got my new projector. You know, I got a projector screen. We're going to fucking watch some movies out here. And I'm like, that sounds badass. What are we watching? And he's like, the Blair Witch Project. And I was like, oh no, dude.
Oh,
I was
no.
like, no.
The Blair Witch Project.
Because I already lived in fear of that movie, right? Because my mom watched the Blair Witch Project when she was in her youth. And she said that movie she slept with the lights on for a month. I'm like, no, dude. As like a 10-year-old kid, 11-year-old kid, and I was like, my mom's telling me she slept with the lights on for a month. I was like, there's got to be something. There's got to be something fucking terrifying about this movie. I ain't never watching that shit. And then homie's playing it on a fucking projector screen in the middle of the woods. I'm like, no. So I watched that entire fucking thing through like the gaps between my fingers, and it was intense, dude. I was fucking horrified the entire goddamn time. And then after I finished this movie about 3 people getting terrorized by a witch in a tent, what did I do? Go and sleep in a tent.
My man.
It was awful, dude. That was my first experience with the Blair Witch, so yeah, I didn't want to relive it for a long time. It was bad, man. That whole
Sounds
movie
like a
was
literal nightmare.
It was a nightmare. So yeah, I was a little shook up after I watched it for the first time.
I was gonna say, like, the most interesting part to me was how mundane it is for such a long time. Like, you're talking to these random rural folk,
Yeah.
and you're just chilling out. You meet these people. Like, they go a good, I don't know, 20, 30 minutes before they even make it out into the woods, really.
Yeah.
Oh
And
yeah.
it's just the forest. Like, I drove through Maryland yesterday, and I was like, this is hard to, like, differentiate from rural Illinois. It's just shitty backwoods.
Uh-huh.
And that, like, kind of familiar, like, rural America is horrifying.
Oh yeah, dude. The Blair Witch is not exclusive to fucking Burkittsville, Maryland. You know, you can find the Blair Witch Woods anywhere, man.
Everybody's got one.
Everybody's got one, man. Especially down here in Louisiana, man. These fucking woods are so insanely dense. And they're fucking everywhere. Like, everywhere is the Blair Witch Woods. I am always in a state of unease when I go camping. But I mean, like, that's part of the fun.
Like, when's the part in this discussion that we all, like, drop down on our knees and praise, like, the confidence and the subtlety and the restraint of this movie?
Oh, that's easily the best part. That's easily what sets it apart from everything, is that you never fucking see the witch, right?
Yeah.
You are left to your own interpretation of what you think was after them. You know, you have to picture it. The only thing that we get is a description of a character who saw the witch.
Yeah.
And, you know, that character is obviously meant to be a fucking cracked out lunatic whose word you can only take at face value.
Yeah.
But I sent you that picture last night of what the witch would look like based off of that character's account. And holy shit, let me tell you how much cooler of a monster design this fucking would have been if instead of this fucking Slenderman ripoff thing that we got in the 2016 one that looks like fucking dog ass.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, that's like what I liked a lot about that movie was that they made the Blair Witch almost a force of nature, something indescribable, something that like you're saying that's what made it good. It's like you're like we can't comprehend it. It's kind of like the same issue you run into when like you're trying to adapt a Lovecraftian work.
Yeah.
How do you adapt something that cannot be seen or comprehended? And then they try it, like, what's the scariest thing I can think of? A human with cricket legs, like, and then that's what they,
yeah, that's, how
that's
you
what they give us.
Blair Witch 2016, man.
Yeah.
I was reading that the directors thought maybe at the ending that they should have done like this was their two things was like you see a person levitating in the middle of the room. They just said a person, so I don't know if they meant it was going to be the witch or like one of the actors. And then their other thing was, let's put arms coming out of the wall. I'm like, what the fuck, dude?
like the Adult Swim After Dark.
Yeah, like
commercial?
Off the Air.
Yeah.
I'm like, I think I would have been fine with either one of those. Like, don't get me wrong, the ending right now in its state is fucking perfect, but if they had done like, you know, the camera knocks over and you just see like some legs levitating, maybe not like a full figure, but if you just saw like some feet levitating off the ground, that would be pretty fucking cool. Or you know, maybe some arms coming out of the wall. I think they had enough subtlety and just made a masterful film in the first place to like earn that, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
So I would have been fine with that. That would have been sick as fuck. You know?
But it only makes the bastardizations more frustrating.
Amen to that.
They had it. You knocked that out of the park the first time. Why are you gonna give us the like
The budget.
heavy-handed, high-budget CGI monster overdoneness. Like, you took everything away that made it special.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, dude. In the 2016 one, they got, like, fucking drones. They got fucking, like, those fucking 5 million megawatt flashlights that can, like, you can just see the other side of the fucking forest through it. And, like, I don't know, dude. I don't know about all that. The witch is, like, blowing shit up, like, sending pieces of wood flying everywhere. I'm like, what is happening in this movie, dude? This is just monster movie, you know?
Have you played the games?
I've not played the game, but I read a synopsis of it, and I really don't know how to feel. It's got the same monster in it as the 2016 one. And I guess the sequels, they start adding in, like, time loops and shit like that. Like, I don't fucking know about any of that
What
shit,
do you mean
dude.
by that?
I don't know. Apparently, like, it's a fucking... I don't know. It becomes a place. The Blair Witch Woods can trap you there. I'm like, what is happening? No thanks, dude.
I mean, she had some sort of magical ability, right? Or was that just me being too scared of her when she left, like, the rock effigies around and the little shaman?
I mean, I definitely 100% think that it is a fucking supernatural force. For sure. I don't think it's just some old lady out in the woods going fucking crazy.
Oh, sure.
You know, but, like, I don't think it's, like, a time loop fucking omniscient wizard or some shit like that.
Yeah, they give her, like, god powers, essentially. Like,
yeah.
It must come from, like, a place of, like, you're over explaining it because you don't have faith in which one of your answers is, like, good. It's like a lack of confidence that you need to throw so many things into it to try and make it interesting.
Yeah. Like, what, other than, like, the town's urban legend, all you get on the Blair Witch is nothing, dude.
Noises?
Yeah.
Tons of noises.
Oh, well, yeah, you get fucking tons of noises, you know. Like, they set up this, like, this this 3-prong attack, right, to what it could be. There's, like, 3 things associated with it, right? There's, like, the legend that it was a girl who was wrongly accused of witchcraft, and, you know, this is her vengeful ghost, which, kind of lame, if you ask me.
yeah.
And then there's, like, there's the part where the guy, Rustin Parr, he, like, took these 7 kids out to his cabin, and he, like, killed them in pairs, and he would make one stand in the corner, you know, so all 3 of them.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's why homie's standing in the corner at the end.
You giving me that synopsis reminds me of the scene where they tell that story. It's like at the creek, right?
Yeah, they're down at the creek.
It's such a good Oh, there's such good acting in this movie.
Yeah,
oh
dude.
Oh my god.
They captured the fucking small town drunk hillbilly fucking telling you how it is. You know?
People need to watch this movie to understand what, like, natural acting looks like. Like, you believe everything that these people are going through, and, like,
people thought it was fucking real. People thought this movie was real, you know?
Yeah.
It was that good.
That happened with what's it called as well, that oh my gosh, what is it? Cannibal
Holocaust?
Apocalypse? Yeah, Cannibal Holocaust.
Yeah.
They like bought the dude before the court to be like, these people aren't dead, right?
Yeah, like, right after the movie premiered, they thought it was fucking real. The actress, Heather, her mother received fucking, like, sympathy cards in the mail, bro. Because of just how...
Hey, sorry we watched your daughter die in the woods on national television.
At the Sundance
like in the theater.
Film Festival.
As I was sinking back some peanut M&Ms, my B.
Yeah. I was drinking a Diet Coke and I was like, I know her mom.
The last of this 3-prong attack real quick. Then there's, like, the Coffin Rock one where they were talking about how there was, like, the bodies of 5 men arranged in a pentagram, and they had, like, some indecipherable runes carved into their skin. you know? And, like, there's enough... Like, it could be anything, dude. Like, all three of those are present in the story. It doesn't nail it down to one thing. You can have your own fucking interpretation. Have you guys seen the film theory video from the internet's very own Matt Pat?
No, I haven't. What does he think it is?
He did a theory that there is no witch, and this was all an elaborate plot from Mike and Josh to kill Heather.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, dude. And I'm like, that's fucking nuts, man.
I would enjoy that just to like see how the web is spun on that story.
It's a good video. Super easily debunked, you know?
Oh,
But it's
he didn't convince you?
I mean, it's still interesting. I can't say he's wrong because we don't fucking know. That ending is for you to interpret.
Sure, I have tons of fun with fan theories.
Uh-huh. The stick guys?
What?
The figures.
Yeah.
Oh, the effigies?
The effigies? That part was nuts, man. That part was fucking crazy. There's like the little cairns, the stone graves, and all that fucking crazy shit. Her monologue was insanely good. You know?
Are you talking about the iconic like snot running down the
Yes,
face camera
Yes.
monologue?
Oh my god, yeah. Yeah.
The first time I saw Blair Witch was actually the Scooby-Doo parody.
Oh my god. I can't
They,
believe
like,
that was
recreate
real.
The whole movie is Scooby-Doo people like getting roughed up by the Blair Witch, and they do like a shot-for-shot like remake of it. It's so good.
Oh, where they got Shaggy just Blair Witching in the corner?
Yeah.
Oh my god, that shit was awesome.
I was like, oh, like they're doing like a Robot Chicken-esque like edgy Scooby-Doo thing.
Yeah.
And, I became educated later.
What a throwback. I totally forgot about that.
There's just so much to fucking unpack with this movie. There's like them all turning on each other.
I love that. The like relationship, and you see them like they start to bite at each other, and like it does a really good job of like seeing the frustration boil over. Like it is super believable, like snippiness and like kind of like snide remarks that get meaner and meaner.
Oh yeah, and it gets to the point where they're like getting physical. Like, and then they all just start getting delirious. Like, Mike just threw out the fucking map.
That's one of my favorite scenes in the whole movie.
I like the part where they're walking along and Mike and Josh fucking just start singing the national anthem. That was fucking hilarious.
To ward off the witch.
Yeah. Oh. One of the creepiest parts to me, right? Especially if you want to look at it through this lens of there is no witch, is do you remember the part where like they get done arguing after they throw the map away? Right? And she's like, come on guys, let's go. Come on, we got to get out of here. And Mike and Josh are just sitting there, not saying a single word. Like, they just sit there in the woods while she, like, pleads, like, hey, we gotta leave. Like, we gotta start moving or it's gonna be nighttime again. And they just don't say a word, don't even look at her, and they just sit there. You know? Like, that part was fucking crazy. The whole movie is just a goddamn masterpiece. And if you haven't watched it, go watch it. So, I wanted to tell you guys a couple interesting pieces of trivia. So, on the night that the tent gets attacked, and they just start running off into the woods, you know, when the girl Heather is like, she's like, what the fuck is that? She's just screaming her like bloody murder.
Yeah.
One of the directors put on like white long johns and a white shirt and like reflective tape and just stood out in the woods and didn't tell him he was going to do that. So she just saw some fucking weird thing out in the woods, you know, because like I said earlier, these dudes are standing off to the side, and on those nights they were actually scaring them. Those are for the most part, practical effects. Like the branches snapping, the footsteps, like that's the crew fucking with them out in the woods.
That seems like when you negotiate the contract for this film, are you told, "Hey, we're gonna kick you out in the woods and fuck with you for 6 days"?
That's why this film feels so natural, feels so authentic, is because it was, dude.
That's not up to SAG or OSHA standards. Can't
That,
be.
yeah, my SAG rep is not gonna like this.
Dude,
Come back, like they abused me in the woods.
go on YouTube and watch some of the behind the scenes stuff that you can find on this movie, because that's what I
That
did
sounds
last night.
interesting.
It was so fucking cool, right? So the director was just standing out there Blair Witching his own crew,
My man.
and that's why her fucking reaction sounds so authentic. And another piece that was really fucking funny. This one had me fucking laughing when I heard it. When Mike ran down into the basement and like came around that corner, he didn't know what was gonna happen, and they just fucking decked him. Like,
That's definitely not up to SAG standards.
No, bro.
like they fucking knocked him one.
The Screen Actors Guild's gonna be pissed.
And he said that they were actually fucking tired and hungry, had no fucking clue where they were. So like that last day of stuff, like that was all genuine, man. Not like yes, they always knew that they were safe, but they'd been out there so long that it was creating this fucking like this little paranoia, this little like Stockholm syndrome of like I want to get the fuck out of these woods, man. So yeah, they just fucking decked him, and that's why he fell over so realistically.
I never knew any of that stuff.
Oh,
He
dude,
got punched right in his fucking face.
it is awesome. It is awesome. It is one of the greatest fucking movies out there, man.
Are you like into other examples of this super method style of film production?
Give me an
You
example.
pog out like The Revenant, I think.
Oh, was
is a
that
good
like
example.
super authentic?
Leonardo was like, I'm
Leonardo
gonna freeze to
actually
death for this
fought
Oscar.
a bear.
He got really cold and like jumped in those frozen rivers and shit.
My man.
Or Jared Leto like mailing dead rats to the other members of fucking Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. That was
Yeah, but he's
fucking-
not good enough of an actor to warrant that, so.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I'd call that method, or like, I don't know what you'd call that. I don't have the theater degree.
Or like Heath Ledger stayed in a hotel room for 2 months and like secluded himself so he could get into the Joker mindset.
That's intense. I mean, that killed him.
Yeah,
so,
I mean, I wish it wouldn't have
Yeah.
killed him.
yeah.
You know, but I mean, I don't know. I don't think you could ever make this movie again, just with the way the technology has advanced, and you know, I don't know. It was the trendsetter for a reason.
We've dealt in, similar styles of shows before. Like, did you ever catch any of the Marble Hornets after the episode?
No, I never got around to it, unfortunately.
Well, I think now that you've sort of retouched Blair Witch, I think it'll inform better Marble Hornets.
Okay.
Because they try so damn hard to
To
be
be
that.
Blair Witch.
It's clearly, inspired.
Yeah. Interesting. I didn't know that.
Does any other found footage or mockumentary style thing appealed to you in the way that Blair Witch has?
Yeah, Cloverfield was a great fucking movie.
Just
Actually.
the first one?
Yes. I remember watching that movie as a kid and being like, this movie's brain dead. And then I watched it again not too long ago and I was like, this is fucking sick. I'm like, this is cool as hell. Cloverfield was really good. That's found footage.
Okay. Yeah, that's like the one other like major example that usually comes to mind for me.
Yeah. I was actually thinking of going on X and making like a fucking psyop thread trying to like convince people that the Blair Witch was actually real. But I just
I
never
don't think that would be hard.
I just never got around to it. I just wanted to see what people would say, if they would call me out, or if there was going to be people that were like fakers and just go along with it and be like, "Oh yeah, you didn't know, dude. You didn't know already." But yeah, I mean, pretty much wraps up everything that I have to say about the Blair Witch, man. It's a fucking amazing movie. Like, is just art in its purest form.
Cultural touchstone.
Yes.
Generational force.
Oh yeah.
Mm.
It is awesome. So go watch The Blair Witch and leave it in the comments what your interpretation of the ending is and what your interpretation of the Blair Witch lore is, because it's out there if you want it. And yeah, it's pretty much all I got. Who wants to take it next?
I got a little teeny one.
Yeah, in the green room, Ryan was giving me just a little taste, and I think I want a bite.
All right. So, I don't know why, but I've been. I didn't mean it to happen like this, but to those of you that listened last week, you know that my creature was the serpapard.
Yeah, dude. Classic.
Half serpent, half serpent with the head of a serpent. No, I'm not. It was half serpent, half leopard. It was an Egyptian cryptid. So I was looking up some other cryptids from like that continent and stuff like that. I kind of expanded from, I kind of expanded from what's it called? From Egypt, and I spread my way out.
Okay.
And I stumbled upon a creature called the Grootslang, or Grootslang. That's how you pronounce it. The Grootslang.
Okay.
And essentially what this is, it translates, it initially comes from the language Afrikaans and Dutch. I didn't know this, but there's a language of, it's called Afrikaans. And it's a West Germanic language spoken in South Africa and Namibia, as well as Botswana, Zambia, and Zimbabwe.
Okay. Interesting.
And essentially what this Grootslang translates to is big snake.
I like it.
But this is not just any big snake. It is a legendary primordial creature that is said to dwell in a cave in Richtersveld, South Africa. Now, essentially, what they say is that it is something like in terms of like it existed before everything else existed. It is one of these primordial serpents, and it is half snake, half elephant.
That's actually super sick.
Right? And essentially what it was is that it existed, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the god saw it, and it was too powerful. And so what happened is that the gods said that this primordial entity is too strong. It's too strong and too smart. So they split the Grootslang into two creatures, a serpent and an elephant. And that's how those two creatures came into existence.
That's pretty
However,
cool.
they say that one of these creatures escaped the sundering, essentially, and still existed. One of the original ones, like the ancienter than the other ancient ones.
Yeah.
And it was able to somehow reproduce, and these Grootslangs now live in these massive cave systems under Africa.
I kind of like that. That's pretty cool.
I think it's pretty dope. I think it's cool how it kind of gives a mythological explanation for the existence of two animals that I thought up to this point weren't real. You know, I've never seen an elephant. I've never seen a big snake, so there's no way they could exist.
I've never seen an elephant or a big snake. That's awesome.
So therefore, it's not real.
That's pretty cool.
Right? So exists. So like they think it lives in this cave called the Wonder Hole or the Bottomless Pit, and they think that this giant bottomless looking cave system or pit connects to the sea, which is like 40 miles away. They also think that this cave is full of diamonds, and the Grootslang guards these primordial diamonds.
That's nice.
Right? Kind of like a dragon, kind of Smaug.
Mm-hmm.
So here's the thing, though. Unlike with the Serpapard, who no one has ever seen, there was a sighting. So apparently, back in 1917, there was an English businessman named Peter Grayson. Not any relation to Dick Grayson from Batman, but this man went treasure hunting in South Africa.
Okay.
And he went missing one day because his party of people were attacked by, oddly enough, a giant group of injured lions, a bunch of lions that had been mauled already.
Yeah.
And in Africa, there's not a lot on the ground that could maul a bunch of lions. But there was this cave system nearby. And they said that he went missing, but they saw him running towards the cave, and after that they never saw him again. So they think that he was killed by a Grootslang in this cave.
That's pretty sweet, actually. I really love the
Right.
use of the word primordial, you know?
Me too.
Reminds me of like a serpent, like the serpent from fucking Norse mythology. I don't know his name.
Fucking
Like Jormungandr?
Yeah,
that,
Jormungandr.
that guy. Yormi.
That guy
he's the one.
with the school.
But he was like...
Kratos' son.
I don't know, I just think it's a really fucking cool thing. And I mean, again, you've picked a monster that has become popularized in D&D. I'm looking through results after Googling Grootslang, and it's a bunch of different D&D systems being like, here's the stat sheet for the Grootslang.
Because it's cool. It's something that like you could throw into a Dungeons and Dragons campaign, or like Christian saying, like a Monster Hunter game. Like that could be like a legendary hunt or something like that. Imagine like the type of sword and kit you'd build from the Grootslang hide. Like,
Oh yeah, no, it's still really cool though. I like that, bringing in these legendary creatures, Ryan.
yeah,
Who's
man.
the CR on a Grootslang? What level is that monster in the D&D?
Let me see.
Give me some info. What's
You
his
want
like
his
secret
Pathfinder
abilities?
skills or his 5th edition skills?
Obviously, I want his Pathfinder
Pathfinder,
skills.
come on.
Yeah, come on, don't play. Okay, let's see. The Grootslang in Pathfinder. It is a CR 16.
Oh,
A gargantuan
Spicy
magical beast with dark vision, 120 feet, has the scent trait, and plus 28 to perception.
okay. He looks.
Its AC is 31. It has 283 HP.
Do anything crazy? No, like secret sundering abilities.
We're getting there. Aquatic Illusion. As a standard action, a Grootslang that is fully immersed in water can teleport to another body of water without error. This ability functions
Oh.
like Tree Stride, but the Grootslang can exit from any body of water within 1 mile so long as both the entry and exit are wide enough for the creature to enter.
Well, this thing's between 40 and 50 feet long. So.
Yeah. A Grootslang can make a bite attack against any creature it is grappling with its tail. If this attack hits, it is automatically treated as a critical threat. As a full round action, the Grootslang can rear up on its serpentine body and bring its massive forelimbs down with awesome force. The Grootslang chooses 2 adjacent targets to be affected as though trampling them. In addition, each creature within 10 feet must make a DC 28 reflex save or be knocked prone. So, yeah. The Grootslang ain't no bitch. He's gonna fuck you up.
If you're listening and that didn't do anything for you, that painted such a wonderful picture for me of like how it acts.
Yeah, if you don't know what we're talking about, go play D&D. Get your friends
Go
together.
play Pathfinder.
Have some fun in your life. What the fuck?
It's a good time.
I'm telling you, man, they're out there. We can go play D&D in real life. Apparently, there's been multiple native witnesses of them coming out of this cave, and the natives in the area have fought them off on several occasions.
Dang.
Have you guys seen the Lego Grootslang?
No?
No, is there a Lego?
Yeah, dude. You seen the Lego Grootslang?
Oh, that looks like a Decepticon.
That's like something that, like one of the Bionicles would fight. So yeah, man, that's my entity, my creature, the thing, another serpent-based monster or cryptid. I'm gonna try and find another serpent-based one for next week if I survive to then. So yeah,
Keep the snake train slithering.
that's what I'm saying. You know what? If I had the money, I'd pay someone on Fiverr to make a little animation of Serpapard versus the group. Well, we all know the Grootslang would body him. Never mind.
That's pretty cool, man. I like what you got.
Thanks.
Nice.
All right.
Well, it looks like it's my turn to take the wheel. Well, as I said, I was traveling through Maryland yesterday because I decided to take a lovely little trip this weekend to Washington, D.C.
Oh, yeah.
The DC.
Had originally planned to go to Gettysburg, but I thought that would be lame, and elected to go to the city instead. So for you, I found a medley of Washington, D.C. ghosts.
Interesting.
Whoa. What?
I got the scoop on this because I have a couple peers here in Philly who do the haunted tours,
Uh-huh.
and they, they go around town at night and they tell all the ghost stories, all the vampire dens, and they sort of point it out to tourists.
Uh-huh.
And I use that intel to track a ghost tour in DC, and so I'm going to steal all their material for this podcast.
Sweet.
So, have either of you been to the nation's capital?
Nope.
Yes, I have. In 8th grade. So it's been a minute.
Daniel, you've never been?
Nope.
Well, let me tell you, it's full of old, dusty-ass buildings, and that's perfect for ghosts. I'm going to jump right in. Our first stop on the Mad Tower Radio virtual ghost tour of Washington, D.C. is the Ford's Theater.
Ooh, I'm excited. I'm going to get immersed and go to Google Street View.
Okay.
What is it called? The Ford's Theater?
The Ford's Theater, also known as the site where Lincoln was assassinated.
Oh, no, dude.
Oh, shit.
That's scary.
I went to the Ford's Theater. It's a great place.
Oh, yeah?
So,
Did you watch a play there?
aside... They don't put plays there anymore.
Wow, this camera quality looks like shit, dude. I'm in like a fucking... I'm standing in like someone's vape cloud.
That's a ghost.
Let me screen share this with you.
That's just sewer mist.
That's just
just
Helen
DC.
Keller's ghost come over from the Capitol.
I'm like...
Oh yeah, she's buried
I'm
there.
standing in
I know.
fog.
I saw her.
You saw her?
Yes.
I'm in the building.
You're-
Dude, I don't even have to go to the Capitol. I can just walk outside. Or I can... Yeah, dude. Okay. Yeah, I've been to D.C.
So aside from the obvious, people say that the angered spirit of Abraham Lincoln sometimes walks the theater.
Why is he angry?
The other more interesting one is that his assassin, John Wilkes Booth, sometimes haunts the area.
It just depends on the day.
They swap.
You know the story of the assassination?
Yeah.
I know that fucking John Wilkes Booth, like, pretty much just really wanted to be famous.
He, a disgruntled Confederate sympathizer, he shows up a couple days after the Civil War ends and the Confederacy surrenders. He finds Lincoln at the Ford's Theater, and he had originally conspired to kidnap Lincoln, but chickened out at the last second and just blew him away.
What?
I can't kidnap the man. That's too scary. I'll just fucking kill him.
He was like, this man's like 6'10". I can't take him away.
I can't defeat him.
Put me in timeout.
He jumps from the opera ledge onto the stage below, shatters his leg,
What?
and then he runs away out the backstage with a broken leg.
That's pretty funny.
And it took like 12 days to find this man who, one, killed the president, and two, broke his leg. How is it so hard to find the fucking guy?
Didn't he get like help? Didn't like people like help him? And they found him like in a barn, like somewhere far away.
Exactly. He had a number of co-conspirators, and that is going to perfectly transition me over to my next
Real
location.
quick, what's going on with these chairs here in the screen cap I sent you? Did you see that? Was that there?
Are you talking about like the haunted chair?
Yeah, what's up
It's
with
a
that?
camera glitch.
I don't know, man.
You guys have.
I
You
think the
guys
Blair
are,
Witch is altering a temporal field around that chair to bring Honest Abe back.
You guys have seen the Whitest Kids You Know skit, right? With Lincoln.
No, one of those
Enlighten
guys.
where they're like, what
I have
really
not.
happened with Lincoln's assassination? And that's like in the middle of the play, and like Lincoln's just being fucking obnoxious. John Wilkes Booth is like, somebody needs to do something about that guy.
Oh yeah.
That's a classic.
I'm still bugging out every time I look at this chair.
It also, I think, is a little distasteful. They have a replica of the gun at the Ford Theater.
You think that's distasteful?
Maybe be like, hey kids, here's the gun that blew Lincoln back in this building.
Dude, bro, Lincoln's been dead since like the fall of Acre. Like, come on. It's
true.
not.
Forget about him then. But the next person on our list is a co-conspirator of the Lincoln assassination. Her name is Mary Serrat.
Serrat.
Every fucking girl back then was named Mary. They had one
They only
name.
had like 4 choices.
They can only
yeah.
afford one name.
Mary, Ruth, Esau.
Esau. Not
Bella
Esau.
Beth.
So Mary Surratt, she meets with John Wilkes Booth and is like, "You're right. We should kill the president, and I'm gonna help you." So, over the course of the manhunt, she's captured and found aiding and abetting the assassin, and she's taken over to the Old Stone Capitol.
Old Stone
And is-
Capitol.
I believe it's the Supreme Court building right now, with the big pillars. You know.
No.
So in the War of 1812, they burned the White House down, and they had to make this building the go-to capital while they built the White House back, and so it's the Old Stone Capitol.
Okay.
And Mary Surratt was, I believe, the first woman to be executed on that site.
Wow. Oh, are
They
you
say
talking
that
about the United States Supreme Court building?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm doing Street View to get immersed. Should I go inside or
And they
outside?
It's outside. They didn't hang her inside, I think.
Oh, interesting.
So it's said that her ghost haunts that area now.
Wow. Just like the grounds? Oh, she got
Yep,
she
she's
got
there.
hanged?
Yeah.
Dang, dude.
I'd be pissed too if I got hung. That shit's horrendous.
That's rough.
So, I wanted to sort of walk our way in, like just say, oh, there's a ghost here. Like they sort of do their thing. But there are 3 really spicy ghosts that I really wanted to dig into now. So like we had our little appetizers. Let's get right to the good stuff.
I'm ready.
The next one is the amazing ghost story of Lafayette Square Park.
Ooh.
Oh, okay.
So, Lafayette Square Park is that big park just in front of the White House.
Where,
Yeah.
Oh. Never mind.
What's up?
I was gonna say, is that
You
where
got some-
fucking Forrest did his speech? But that was in front of the D.C. monument.
Bro, all I had to hear on my trip to D.C. was my partner talking about Forrest fucking Gump, and I was like, I don't care. I'm trying to see the sights. I don't want to hear about Gen A.
Oh no.
So, Lafayette Square Park, right in front of the White House. First off, it has a very wrought history of being an encampment for soldiers. It was a graveyard and a slave market, so it's already got very bad connotations and energies in that location.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But it is the site of a very dramatic conclusion to a torrid affair and love story that took place. So, in 1859, there was the story of a representative, Daniel Sickles.
That's a sick name.
Daniel
Mr. Sickles had a wife who was cheating on him with the district attorney, Philip Barton Key II.
Dang.
And I mean, his name is more clouded up, so I guess there's something there. And so, the husband received letters of his affair being exposed.
Uh-huh.
It's like, Barton Key has just as much use of your wife as you have.
Oh, hell no.
That's a little much.
Oh, hell no.
Poor guy.
What?
So Mr. Sickles decides to meet him in the street, do what every good gentleman does back in that day, and solve your problems with guns.
Yeah, we're gonna duel.
He says, we are absolutely gonna let the Thangs brap.
Motherfucker says that to me.
And he wasn't talking about his butt either, now was he?
I fucking wholeheartedly agree, man.
So Keyes would hang like a rag or some kind of handkerchief or something out his window to sign that he was looking for sex. He was trying to fuck. And his wife would hang a similar colored rag out of her window in reply.
Oh.
So after
Where the
her husband
fuck
became
am I?
awares...
Hold on.
Are you at the White House?
Yeah, but like
Just in front of the White
I
House.
clicked the I didn't know there was roads going underneath the White House.
Are you in the secret back
I
doors?
don't know where.
You're not supposed to be
bro.
seeing that.
I'm in the back. I'm
You
in
just
the
no
back
clipped into the back
bro.
rooms.
You're not allowed to be there.
Hold up, 1 second. This is scary.
Okay.
This is scary, dude.
Hold up, this is spooky.
I was like, what
So they were hanging their drawers out the window to show them they wanted some smoke.
Exactly. And her husband had become awares of this signal, so he said, okay, if she sent the reply, I'm going to go outside and meet him as he comes over. So they meet each other at Lafayette Park, and Keyes knows he's screwed. He begins to beg for his life, and Congressman Sickles just triple taps him right there in the park.
My man.
Yeah.
He dies shortly after.
Nice.
And
Badass.
It's said that his ghost now haunts the area, that he like bleeds on the floor sometimes, and you can see it.
Uh-huh.
That's freaky.
Also, I should mention, he's vengeful because Representative Daniels walks free from this murder.
Badass.
He shoots the man raw 3 times, and then he claims temporary insanity and is allowed to walk.
My bad. I was a little out over. I was hanging out under the crazy tower too much, and I just went and I popped the man 3 times just for begging my wife.
Heated out there, and, you know.
That's badass.
This man, in a karmic rebuttal, serves in the Civil War, and Representative Sickles gets his leg blasted off by a cannon at the Battle of Gettysburg.
That's what you get.
He does not escape justice, so it is said at Lafayette Park, you can see
His leg.
the cuckold
The cuckold.
and the cucker both haunting the square, and Representative Keyes is limping badly. His ghost is these days.
Well, I mean, I would assume so. If the leg is missing, yeah.
His leg's up in Gettysburg. Go bring it back.
That's fucking sick.
Oh, I love it. I love it when ghosts have beef with each other.
And so they're both there. Maybe they fight each other. Maybe they just
Maybe
chill.
they fell in love. Maybe they realized that the wife wasn't worth it.
The 2 ghosts loved each other. Our next one is right down the street from Lafayette Park. It is the ghost that haunts the Hay Adams Hotel.
The Hey Arnold Hotel.
So there's a long, protracted story of a lady named Clover Hooper Adams, who was a socialite, well connected to the literature world in the 1800s, early 1900s. And she's a very wealthy woman who decides to build a lovely home where the Hay Adams Hotel is today.
Mm-hmm.
But in a sort of bout of depression, her father dies, and she takes her own life inside. Before the home is built, she never made it to live in there, like this wonderful dream home that her husband was building.
Interesting.
She was a photographer, and they used potassium cyanide to develop the film, and she used a lethal dose of that with which to take her life.
Oh gosh.
And now, in that spot is this fancy hotel. And people report that the smell of potassium cyanide can be smelled in the halls, and that she wanders the home she never got to enjoy.
That's sad. What the fuck?
This one, to me, almost feels like a touristy, like a more touristy thing than the other ghosts.
Yeah.
Because they like advertise and hype up during the anniversary of her death in the month of December. She's more active, and like the chandeliers will rock, and people will smell the smell of the poison around, and it seems like they're making that a part of their hotel's aura.
Yeah.
So like that's the one that it doesn't really strike me as the most convincing of the ghost stories.
Yeah.
But I did save for you the best for last.
Ooh.
And that is the absolute haunted cavalcade of ghosts that are in the U.S. Capitol building.
Oh, God.
That place is haunted, just fettered with demons and ghosts.
Okay.
Which, to me, as I was researching this, I was like, this seems like a really cool, like, sci-fi or, like, fantasy story hook. Like, the capital of the empire is infested with, like,
Ghosts?
tormented spirits. Yeah.
That's funny.
It painted a really sick picture of it. And so we're going to start at the most beloved ghost. A favorite of the Capitol building is the demon cat.
The demon cat.
Salem.
Demon cat that lives in the Capitol building. It's said that a night's watchman in the 1860s would see a spectral cat walking and attempt to shoot it, but could never kill it.
Why? What?
What?
It's a cat. Kill that motherfucker!
Well, I don't know if it was like accosting the building or they wanted to get rid of it, but this ghost cat now lurks around the building, and it only appears now when terrible things happen. There were reports of the demon cat right before Lincoln and Kennedy's assassinations.
So was Homeboy just letting it rip, just shooting this cat, this ghost cat, inside the
I
Capitol?
assume the man kept the musket tight in the 1860s, and maybe he got scared. Like, it's the Civil War. Like, I don't know.
Oh, Confederate cats just rolling up.
The Confederate cat spy.
Oh my
Who knows
God.
if someone's gonna make an attempt on the president's life?
I mean, the damn cat showed up before the Great Depression, the stock market crash, and now it has all of this energy. This describes Stygian feline that predicts terror.
That's fucking
Sounds like a hellhound.
It's like a hellhound kitty. There is another one. I don't know if you know this, but the Capitol building has had a very fraught history of construction. Like it's had many delays, many problems, and a lot of deaths.
Yeah.
Working on this building.
Yeah.
It is said that in a feat of nepotism, the construction manager for the original Capitol building construction hired the gig to one of his friend's construction companies.
Huh.
And he was a cheapskate. He was a piece of shit, like not a great builder. And they're unveiling this dome for the first time.
Yeah.
And they take out the supports, and the dome collapses right there and kills the lead construction guy.
Fuck.
Solid.
Mr. Lenthall, I believe.
Like the bean, Mr. Lentil?
Lenthall.
Oh.
And it said that the Lenthall's curse now afflicts the Capitol building, in which any construction project is going to be longer than expected. There's going to be unexplained problems. Infrastructure is going to crack and crumble in ways that nobody can explain.
What a dumb ghost. The construction affecting ghost.
That's my stand ability.
Yeah,
The bricks are not as strong.
that does sound like a stand ability.
It happened a second time. There's a very well observed metaphor for the Civil War. That is, when Abraham Lincoln was inaugurated, the major dome that we all associate now with the Capitol building had not been completed.
Okay.
And that they were like, oh, is like the Capitol dome going to be built? Is like democracy going to survive? That kind of shit.
Yeah.
During the construction of that dome, a man named Pringle Slight, which is a really sick name.
Excuse me?
Pringle Slight?
Pringle Slight.
Okay.
Dude, when did we start? When did we move away from names like Daniel Sickles to like just fucking like Joe Smith?
Jake.
I know, right?
Daniel
Like
Sickles
names.
and Pringle Slight.
Like, come on now.
That's so sick.
Pringle Slight is working on the construction of the new dome during the Civil War, and his son Robert Slight is working on the project. He is reported to have fallen through the wooden temporary roof of the dome straight down into the Capitol and dying from his wounds.
Mm-hmm.
And they attributed that to the Lentulus curse as well. So we have two angry architect ghosts. We have a cat roaming, and the supposed spirits of pretty much all the presidents are said to have been haunting this at any given time.
Okay.
Love it. That one also feels sort of like a marketing scheme. Like, you bring the kids in and you're like, oh, Ben Franklin, George Washington, they could be anywhere.
Bill Clinton.
One day.
No, right now.
Oh my god, dude.
But I've given you the absolute best, my favorite piece right here. While George Washington might not be haunting the Capitol at this time, there was at one point an attempted resurrection of the first president planned.
No way.
Necromancy.
We have Mecca, Washington.
There was a man named William Thornton who was tasked with blueprinting the first Capitol buildings, but he didn't have the skills to do so. He was a doctor, not an architect. But the week that Washington died, our man William Thornton came too late, and the president was already dead, but he said, no, I can revive him. And he said the following quote.
Oh no.
I proposed to attempt his restoration in the following manner. First, to thaw him in cold water, then lay him in blankets, and by degrees and by friction slowly give him warmth, and to put activity in his minute blood vessels. At the same time, to open a passage to his lungs by the trachea and inflate them with air to produce an artificial respiration, and finally transfuse blood into him from a lamb.
No.
He was going to bring the president back to life.
With goat blood.
Martha Washington said, absolutely not. You will not be doing that to my husband.
Can you imagine? George Washington's ghost saying, why is that guy rubbing me like that? What the fuck? He's putting lamb's blood in my heart.
He's like on his way to heaven, and he looks down, and there's a dude like putting him in the bathtub.
It's like, what's going on? Martha, you stop that man.
But what if
Don't
like
let him do this to
what if
me.
like halfway through the process though his ghost started going back and he's like, No, it's working.
Bring me home. I can't do this.
That'd be wild, bro.
It kind of like makes me think of this. I forgot what movie it was. It might have been a video game, but like this guy came back to life. Like they ripped his soul out of the afterlife and stuck it back in his body, but his body had already been embalmed.
Oh.
So he came back to life and like his lungs were full of fucking like baseball sand and stuff like that. Or, like,
That sounds
whatever.
horrible.
Dude, it would have turned into that Assassin's Creed 3 DLC where they won the American Revolution and George Washington was like, I'm king now.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm the immortal god emperor.
That's insane, bro.
On a very high note, I would think, concludes my limited ghost tour of the Washington D.C.
Very cool, Christian. Thank you.
I like that.
It did sound like a lot of touristy stuff, you know?
Yeah.
Which I was in the same mindset when I went to New Orleans, was like, yo, I want to see the paranormal side of New Orleans. And, like, honestly, I'm glad I didn't, man, because I saw people, like, getting the tour, and it just looked fucking lame, bro.
A little cheesy.
It's super cheesy.
That's when you gotta go find your own adventure there, bro. You gotta go over there and, like, fucking, like, ask them, like, at gunpoint while they're sleeping, like, live the adventure, make the drama.
Yeah, but then that would, like, if I wanted to do, like, some actual good research and, like, talk to people that see, like, talk to the locals and find out about the actual paranormal side of fucking a big city, I would have to be in a big city longer than a weekend, and that just, I don't know about that.
I know about it. I like ghosts, just not that much.
Yeah, I'd much rather go get, like, Blair Witch than fucking be in a fucking metropolitan hellscape. Would you rather get Blair Witched, fight an ancient serpent elephant, or have your construction costs inflated for no reason other than it cursed? Which will it be? So, well, why don't you comment below and tell us which one you would rather face? And comment whatever you want to see on the next episode of Mad Tower Radio. If you're listening on YouTube, don't forget to hit the subscribe, give the video a like, join the Gunch Squad. If you're listening on Spotify, don't be afraid to go ahead and give us 5 stars. Working on getting a rating, working on building the community. And gentlemen, do you have any last thoughts for our audience out there?
No.
Always face the corner.
Well, there you have it, folks. This has been Mad Tower Radio, episode 37, ending transmission.
A frequency beyond space and time.
Unspeakable knowledge. It is Mad Tower Radio.